Sabbatical, and welcome to Chiang Mai, Thailand, where it's the middle of the rainy season and I just got rained on. But it's a beautiful place to be, and it's a beautiful place for me to finally admit some things to you. Because, you know, I gotta say, I feel bad. There's some things I should have told you a long time ago. Some things I know you've been wondering about my background, who I really am. And so what better time for something I haven't done in a while, a very long time actually. We're gonna do a question and answer section, and I think we'll do it across multiple countries, starting right here in Thailand. I've been collecting a series of questions from you. I asked in advance, and I'm gonna share with you all my dirty secrets. Let's do this. And stay tuned, because in this episode, we'll be going to 5 different countries. That's right, 5 different countries, all for a Q&A video. Look at that effort. All right, the first question, one of the most common questions to a travel blogger. How do you make money? Also, how much money do you make? How do you travel around the world on less than $100,000? Well, my man, listen. You can easily travel around the world on a lot less than $100,000. You could do it on $10,000 if you wanted. So, if you never heard this before, YouTubers actually do make money. We actually get paid for making these videos. And the way that happens is YouTube puts advertisements on every video, and basically the more views that you get, the more you get paid. It's a good system, I think. You keep 55% of the ad revenue for every video. That's what YouTube gives you. Google made that decision. Google owns YouTube, by the way, if you didn't know. They made that decision like 20 years ago, and it was just a really good idea because I think it inspires people to be more creative. You know, you get to keep more of the money. Not saying that's the only incentive, but people gotta get paid. They gotta eat. I love all these temples in Thailand. So I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm rich now, but I'm definitely not starving. I'm not gonna lie, YouTube is tough when you're first starting out, but I've been very fortunate. I consider myself one of the luckiest men in the world because I get to travel around the world and get paid doing it. And it's not like I'm just barely scraping by. So the way it works on YouTube is, for every roughly, I kind of consider things in the 100,000s now. For about 100,000 views, you can get about $1,000 US, but there's a lot of factors that go into that. I also, like many YouTubers nowadays, take sponsorships. Sponsorships have a different value depending on the sponsor, depending on their requirements, but basically the sponsorships make up about half my income. The regular YouTube AdSense, that makes up the other half. In addition to that, I also get money from Patreon, from you guys. And I really, really appreciate that because I know you're just giving that to support me, support my travels. And especially in the early days, that was a big deal. It really helped out. Nowadays, I try to give back more by posting extra videos on there. You know, some extra stuff for you to watch, just to show my appreciation. I'm very, very lucky because most people trying to get into YouTube, it can take them years before they start earning enough money to quit their job and focus full time on it. For me, it only took like 4 months. Got into this at the right time. Helps that I'm probably insane because I started right in the middle of a pandemic. But listen, seriously, if you want to do this yourself, you don't need to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't need to be early retired. You know, there are literally 19-year-olds traveling around Southeast Asia, staying in hostels for like $6 a night. This kind of life is way more accessible than you think. Now, I'm not saying you could do this life in like every country. You know, there's parts of the world that could be pretty damn expensive. I'm from one of the most expensive cities in the world, and I had to get out of there until I get my cash game up. But if you want to travel around Southeast Asia, South America, where else, parts of Africa, it can be very, very affordable. You just got to plan your finances accordingly. And if you can get a job online, That is the golden ticket. And a job online can be as simple as just teaching English to Chinese people. And if you don't like hostels, you can literally get an Airbnb like this for $30. $30! And this is literally first world quality. Like, everything works, it's really nice. Look at this bed. Huh? Look at that mirror. Look at that mirror, no. All right, I'm borrowing my friend's camera for question number 2. Question number 2 is, Tommy, do you have some kind of special talent for learning languages? Why do you speak so many languages? What's going on? Where do you get this ability from? And also, how can I learn a language? Well, we picked the right place to answer this question. We're at a language exchange in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And the secret to learning languages is you just talk to people, as I'm about to do. Let's go. 我们找到了中文的桌子，对，中文角。你们都是中文哪里的？杭州。杭州啊，我很喜欢杭州。你有去过吗？去过好几次。Say something in Cambodian. Khmer. Sok Svai, Kanyong, Runo, Jempuzai, All right. How do you say "f your mom" in Cambodian? Game Boy Mai. Bueno, un gusto. Voy a seguir mi ruta. Hasta luego. There you go. This is why I don't use a DJI. I don't know how these things work. My buddy over here is using it.
What's up?
He's still trying to get a YouTube channel going.
I am.
Go with Cobbs. You might need to change the name still. This dude speaks 20 languages. He is legitimately, I think, maybe the best polyglot in the world now, but
I don't know
he's up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore, I think. He's gonna be there. For him, how do we learn multiple languages? Do we have a special talent?
No talent. We just love talking to people. We love to study. Well, I don't know if we love study, but we love to talk to people, and that makes us study, right?
Yeah. So that's a key thing. You got to be very social. You don't want to talk to people.
Can't be shy. Like Tommy, just like doesn't even know that lady. He was just like boom.
Yeah.
And now he's like the best friends here. So
exactly. You're just making new friends all over the place, and that is what learning a language does. It opens up so many opportunities. You can arrive in a country, and everyone is happy once you speak their language. They're more likely to want to get to know you, and it becomes like a new challenge. You know, it's something to do in each country you go to. So you don't have to join the CIA to learn multiple languages. No, I did it, but you know, no. Now in this particular video, I'm not actually going to give you advice on how to learn a language. You know why? Because I already did that. I made an entire video right here about how to learn a language. It might be a tiny bit outdated, it's like 3 years old now, but the core principles are still the same. Basically, just learn the grammar, learn the most common words, and talk to people. Talk to a lot of people. Pay them to talk to you if you have to, because they'll be nicer and correct your mistakes. That's all you gotta do. So I'm currently on a very bumpy, very cheap flight across the South China Sea. It's my next destination. I'm on the most bare bones, low-cost airline in the world.
And for your information, we pay for check and luggage.
Alright, welcome to another country. We're now in the Philippines. Alright, so it's like 5:30 in the morning. This is the overnight flight. And for some reason, the Philippines has now decided to make you fill out a very long, complicated online form on the very bad airport Wi-Fi. I'm really tired. The next question is, sabbatical. How do you pack your luggage? What's your luggage game? And as you can see, I'm kind of minimalist. And I think that's the ideal way to travel. I'll share a few more details after I get some sleep. All right, good morning, or should I say good afternoon. Don't think I got enough sleep. Anyway, let me show you my luggage. Let me show you the ideal way to travel, according to Sabbatical. So, I try to be as minimalist as possible, as I said. I try to carry just one bag. And at the moment, this would be the bag. And what I try to do is, I try to only carry just a few changes of clothing, right? So I have like maybe 3 shirts, maybe I only have 1 pair of shorts. I have them on right now. one pair of pants, maybe 1 or 2 nice shirts, you know, if you're going out, if you're at like a conference, if you met the love of your life. And in this pouch right here, just carry my laptop charger, carry my actual laptop. This fits in very snugly right there. Right here, I will just carry like medicine. I do get migraines sometimes. They really suck. Wouldn't recommend anyone to get migraines. It's terrible. But so I got to carry around some medicine that's hard to get when you're traveling around. So all that stuff, plus sunscreen, you know. How else can I maintain this beautiful tan? And finally, what tends to happen, especially if you're on a journey that lasts more than a month, is you start to buy new stuff once you get to the country. You know, like a common mistake that novice travelers will make is they think they need to carry everything with them. They need to like bring it from home, and that's just gonna last them for like the entire year or 6 months or whatever. And that's, come on, think about it. You're probably going to a country that is cheaper than America or Europe. So just buy everything you need once you get there. That is the true trick to being minimalist. But you will end up buying some stuff along the way, maybe some souvenirs. And if that's the case, you can buy a little extra bag and just put all your random shit in there. So that's the random shit bag. And if you do it just right, the big benefit is you never have to check in any luggage. You can just fly right through customs.
You have a girlfriend here?
I don't have a girlfriend here, no. Do you have a girlfriend here?
No.
You have a wife?
I have a wife.
All right, well there you go. It's like a long-term girlfriend.
That did not help. So I have diabetes.
Well, there's pills that can help with that. Let's take this up a notch. Let's get into some harder questions. Next question. Tommy, Mr. Sabbatical, when you're traveling, do you hook up with the local women? Are you a sex tourist? Now you can tell how real I am because the majority of male travel bloggers will never answer this question. But I will, even though I'm pretty sure my mother is watching this video. Well, the first way to answer that question is, first, we need to define what is a sex tourist. Are we talking about the kind of guy that just travels to another country to find prostitutes, to find massages, whatever? Those dudes exist. I could confidently say that's not me. Not a big fan of prostitution. I can't do it. Not gonna lie. It's not honestly just out of some moral superiority reason. It doesn't do anything for me. You know, it's like I have emotions, I have feelings. I need to have a connection.
How much will
You are very persistent.
Yes. I want to prove you it's good.
I'm trying, my man, I'm trying to make a video right now, all right? These Viagra sellers out here, they're very aggressive. All right, what was I saying? So another definition of a sex tourist, I guess, is somebody that basically they just go traveling around the world, but they're not doing it, you know, for travel's sake. They're not doing it for the cultures. They're not doing it for the experiences. They're doing it just to have sex. And once again, there are definitely guys that exist like that. And once again, I don't think that's me. Now, undoubtedly, of course, I have literally been on the road now for, I think, over 4 years. That really kind of complicates your life. If you want to have a serious relationship, if you want to have a relationship that could lead to marriage or something like that, you really got to find someone who's on the same wavelength as you for that to even be possible. And starting a relationship when you're abroad is hard, really difficult. Because, you know, it's just, you're constantly on the move. You don't have that time to like set up, you know, the key moments that make you fall in love, stuff like that. What else? I mean, you know, I'll be real, I'm not the best looking dude, but I can be very charming. That's for my 10 to 20% female audience. Now, have I ever met a girl while traveling abroad? Of course I have, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you think there is, you are a goddamn Puritan. I've also had long-term relationships, very long-term relationships abroad. I'm interested in languages. I'm interested in different cultures. It can be challenging, but you know, I think it's one of the most beautiful relationships you could have, crossing that boundary. And once again, I'm not taking a moral position on this. I think as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not exploiting anyone, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want when you travel. But if you are that kind of guy, listen, you at least, you know, learn a little bit of the language, you know, like develop some other interests, for Christ's sake. Now, as for my current relationship status, I don't know if you can even hear me over the infamous Manila traffic right here. My current relationship status, as a 100% heterosexual man, sorry to any gay dudes watching my channel. But anyway, I can't tell you my current relationship status. It's a secret. Maybe I'll tell you at some point in the future. But until then, it's a secret. And I have no obligation to tell you that, by the way. It's summertime. Well, here in Southeast Asia, it's always summertime. But that's besides the point. The point is, it's time for you to take that vacation time and go travel the world. It's time for you to get out of your country, get out of your comfort zone, go somewhere, go abroad. Why did the language switch to Vietnamese all of a sudden? Anyway, to go abroad, you're gonna need an eSIM. You're gonna need connectivity. And that is where today's sponsor comes in, Nomad eSIM. Nomad is a top-rated eSIM provider with a stable and reliable connection. Super easy to set up, with access to over 200 destinations. It's so much easier than just arriving in an airport and then trying to figure out at like 3 o'clock in the morning which local telecom brand is good. With an eSIM, you can just do that in the airport before you fly. Arrive at the destination and you already have Wi-Fi. And if you're traveling with a friend, you're good too. You can set up a personal hotspot for free and share the Wi-Fi with your whole group. And it really is easy to use. Choose your location, choose your data plan, many to choose from. They'll give you instructions about how to download the eSIM to your phone and use it. It's very, very simple. So yeah, I really can't recommend it enough. You can get 20% off, 20% off for all new and existing users by using the code NAMTOMMY. Yes, that is the code, NAMTOMMY. Just put that in to Nomad eSIM and go out and explore the world. I'll see you out there. All right, welcome back to New York, mother effing city. Just took a 16-hour flight and I'm wide awake at 12 a.m. JFK. My least favorite airport that I frequently fly to. This is gonna take like 2 hours. Fuck me. All right, Gotham City at 2 a.m. Oof. Am I taking a risk going out here? Has the city changed? Who are we kidding? New York, it always stays a little bit grimy, but it's not World War III. And it's just always a bit weird. So, brings me to my next question. Good timing. Tommy, what is your biggest fear while traveling? And the answer to this might be a bit surprising for you. Because, you know, surprisingly, I don't have a lot of fear of going into dangerous hoods, climbing mountains, going to war zones. Probably should. And my biggest fear isn't even being imprisoned abroad, being arrested. You would think it would be at this point. No, it's none of that. My biggest fear when traveling, and this is honestly a little bit embarrassing, my biggest fear is actually just flying on an airplane. I know, it sounds crazy. I've taken hundreds of flights, and I still get nervous when I'm flying. Basically what happened was, on one of the first flights I ever took, flight down to Mexico, I had nightmare level turbulence. I'm talking like old women were praying on the flight, people were screaming, the plane was just like going up and down. And now granted, I've learned since then that turbulence can never crash a plane, but that scared the shit out of me. It kind of gave me PTSD when it came to flying. And believe me, I know a fear of flying is completely irrational. I've learned a lot about how planes work and everything. I know that there's like a 1 in 11 million chance the plane would actually crash. I know that actually driving a car to the airport is like way more dangerous than getting on that flight. But do you think the brain thinks logically like that? No, that's not how fears work. I'd rather go back to another war zone. All right, it's been it's kind of weird, you know, when you take like a cross-Pacific flight, 12-hour time difference. It's like 3 a.m. I don't know, should I try to sleep? I can't, because like I'm wide awake. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I stay up all night. What can we do in Manhattan at 3 a.m. at night? Let's go do some fentanyl. All right, got maybe a couple hours of sleep. Don't really know how awake I am at the moment, but that's what we're working with. So this is kind of cool. I guess you only see this if you're up at 7 a.m. in New York City, but here's like a warehouse of hot dog carts, halal carts, food trucks. People don't actually own those carts. I guess they just store them here, come out, rent them for the day. Now that we're back in America, I could take some America-focused questions. So, next question. Tommy, after all this travel, how has your view of America changed? Great question. So a funny thing starts to happen as you live outside of your home country for a long time. And by a long time, I mean probably at least multiple years. What tends to happen is you start to view your country more objectively, you know? You view it almost the way that you view a foreign country. Not quite the same, but, you know, for example, as an American, when we think of Mexico, we think of Mexico in its entirety, we think of its strengths and its weaknesses. We don't tend to think of America the same way, but America has strengths and weaknesses also. So, do I still think America is the greatest country in the world? No. But I also don't think there is a greatest country in the world. Every country has some kind of issue. Because to have something good, you almost have to sacrifice something else, you know? To have a great economy, your people have to become slavishly hardworking. They have to sacrifice quality of life. Apparently there's some kind of marathon going on. I don't know if this is actually like an important marathon or just like one of those run clubs that they have all over America now. It's weird, you know? In America, we love fitness. America has maybe the most defined fitness culture in the world, the fittest people, the most jacked motherfuckers. We also have the highest obesity rate in the world. America is a paradox. I do still believe America is one of, if not the most free countries in the world. Free to say whatever you want, complete freedom of speech, freedom to start a business and change your life. There is no better place in the world to get rich, if that's what you want. You may not have social services that Europe has, but it's also not as bad as people say. Like, listen, if you lose your job, if you're unemployed, there is Medicaid. It's not like you're gonna die. Could the system be improved? Oh, for sure. And I also think Americans, after traveling around a bit, are the friendliest people in the developed world. You know, what can I say? We're just fun to be with. What kind of old boy sport are these guys playing over here? Just hitting like a ball with a hammer? I feel like I know what the name of that is, but can't remember. Yeah, anyway, America's great, but it has problems, and those problems become obvious once you travel to other parts of the world. We have the aforementioned healthcare problems, the lack of benefits. The cities don't look as nice as they do in Europe, especially don't look as nice as they do in like Japan, East Asia. It's also the most violent country in the developed world, the most dangerous. There are neighborhoods in America I don't want to mess around with. They're scarier than a lot of the countries I've been to around the world. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of is just the complete dependence on the car culture of America. It's not that we don't have cool cars and everything. It's just that I love walking. I love hitting the streets, love talking to people. And in America, generally speaking, outside of a place like New York City, you need a car to go anywhere. Everybody's in their car and, you know, it just feels a little more isolated. So, I mean, yeah, with that said, I am proud to be an American. Am I allowed to say that in New York City? I'm not really sure, but that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge the problems in this place. I always hope that it gets better, but I feel like the problems of America have always been the problems of America, and they're not really going to change. So, all right, we are on Long Island. A fairly boring place to visit, but not a bad place to grow up or raise a family. Speaking from experience here, what I'm going to do now, since I still have a bunch of questions left, I'm going to open up a kind of rapid fire session. I'm going to go a little bit quicker. So, let's start from the top. Do you have yellow fever? No, I don't. Got the vaccine for it in Africa. I'm good. Why are there missing episodes? As in, why does the order skip every once in a while? Well, the most recent reason for that was because I posted the videos about me being arrested and going to prison in Russia for some bullshit. I posted those early, ahead of when they were actually filmed. So you just gotta like scroll back a bit, you'll find them. That's number 213 and number 214. Going back even further, there's a couple of videos that I've taken down for various reasons. There was one that I made, he's kind of stupid. I tried to bring like a Nintendo Switch to this tribe in Africa, and it was fun, but people were not really feeling it. It wasn't really a good video, and I just took it down. And you know, so I mean, if there's any other missing episodes, it's just that reason. I might repost them at some other point. Did you drop the soap in prison? Seriously? Yes. Yes, I did. And then I told the guy next to me to bend over and pick it up. Why do you never get a tan? I just can't. Like, I got some pretty hardcore Irish genetics right here. It's like, you know. What's the worst toilet you've ever been on? Well, easy. Kyrgyzstan border. It was just like a shack with a hole inside, no toilet paper, and going out there, it was pitch black. Not a fun experience. Sleeping in a shipping container. Not recommended. Good morning from a new country. I just flew to Shanghai, China. Sorry, didn't actually film the journey over. Got tired of doing that. But here we are. Couldn't show you how I got here, you know? I gotta keep my spy secrets to myself. Which brings me to the next question. A very popular question. Tommy, do you work for some kind of agency? Are you in the CIA? I thought I'd never have to reveal my secrets. I thought I'd never have to bring this up. But you exposed me. How could you have figured this out? Do I work for the CIA? Well, you do know they have a code of conduct where they're not supposed to tell anyone that, right? But no, I don't work for the CIA. Come on. Like, look at me. Is that all it takes to convince you that someone works for the CIA? They just have to speak multiple languages. Are the standards for intelligence in America, are they that low? Now, sure, I realize I do go to some questionable places. I like coming to China a lot. That's America's main geopolitical rival. Went to Russia, went to Belarus, went to Israel and Palestine right after their war started. I know it looks a little bit weird, but think about it for 1 second. You know, here I am in a country like China, a country that places security cameras literally everywhere. If I was a spy, well, I gotta say, the Chinese are not very good at their job. Beyond that, just logically, if I have a YouTube channel, does that really seem like it would mesh with being a CIA agent? Like broadcasting my location, showing where I go? And then finally, if I have a YouTube channel with like 800,000 subscribers, as I explained before, you do get paid for that, okay? To some people, I'm already living a kind of dream life. Why the hell would I also work for the CIA at the same time? Like, just, guys, come on, think about this. Anyway, this is the place I'm staying in. It's like one of these like old Shanghai apartments. It was recently converted into a kind of Airbnb. They don't have Airbnb in China anymore, but if you go on like the hotel websites, you can find a place like this. And I think it's great. Old Shanghai right outside my window. Look at all the drunk people stumbling out of the bars. Oh, it's great. Got the little dumpling spot right here. Hasn't even opened yet. That's how early I'm awake. Man, I love Shanghai. It's low-key one of my favorite cities. That's why I spent almost 6 years here. It's because you just have like this beautiful mix of like old European style colonial houses mixed in with the rapid development of modern China. And a neighborhood like this, it's great because after the Europeans left, after Mao Zedong took over, they basically like converted a lot of these areas into public housing, you know, the whole communism thing. And nowadays, they're like vibrant neighborhoods mixed in with like little like bars and restaurants. All right, now that I'm in China, we can answer some more China-focused questions. What's the next question on the list? Let's see. What are your true thoughts about the situation in China? Guys, oh no, it looks like this question may not fit into the regular YouTube video. We don't want the video to be too long. What a coincidence. But if you decide to support me on Patreon, I'm going to be throwing in a lot of extra questions. It's almost enough for another full video. So consider taking a look over there. And I appreciate the support.
No more train, Philip.
No more train.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Hanoi and station in Sound at 10 a.m. open.
Okay.
Now here.
All right, I'm just gonna take a walk. That's
Yeah,
fine,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you. All right. Good morning, Vietnam. And this is probably the last country in this video. I thought originally they just set up these train tracks as like some kind of cute touristy thing. Well, it is kind of a cute touristy thing, but an actual train does run through here. I've seen it. And when a train is coming through, they have like these guys that work here and they just literally push the foreigners off the train tracks. They just like shove them out of the way. Can I enter?
No, not pressing like this.
No? From there?
Not pressing like this.
Oh, I need to wear different clothes. Okay. Come on. I see here we have an on-the-spot entrepreneur. T-shirt, okay. How much?
Alo xin mấy 300,000 Việt Nam đồng.
300,000. How much is that?
Yeah. Ocean now, no ticket, free money. Hồ Chí Minh.
200,000?
300, very cheap.
Oh, okay, 250,000.
Yeah.
250,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I'm a lot more tolerant of people trying to rip me off now, but there's literally a hole in the shirt.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Come on, man. Come on. Long live Vietnam. This would be the tomb of Ho Chi Minh. I believe he is interred here. Is that a word in English? He's interred here just like Mao Zedong and Lenin in Moscow. Embalmed, I think that's the word I was looking for. Ho Chi Minh was basically the driving force for the creation of modern Vietnam. He fought against the French. Vietnam used to be a French colony. Then later on, his state of North Vietnam fought against the Americans in the Vietnam War. Vietnamese ended up winning that too. And after that, China saw that Vietnam defeated both the French and the Americans. They were like, why don't we take our shot? And then Vietnam defeated the Chinese too. Listen, no matter what you think about the Vietnam War, you do have to give the Vietnamese respect. Beat the French, the Americans, and the Chinese 3 in a row. Who else can claim that? Just your average day in Hanoi. So behind me right here is the Hoa Lo prison, which was originally built by the French. You can tell, written right there is the Maison Centrale. The French, if you didn't know, they colonized Vietnam for a period of time. Later on, it became known by a name that you may know a bit better if you're American, the Hanoi Hilton. That's because during the Vietnam War, when the US was bombing North Vietnam, they transferred all their prisoners to this place right here. I'd say it's worth a visit. It's a museum. It's got some strong propaganda vibes, but sometimes those are the most fun museums, are they not? Alright, so I think I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. I'm gonna have to get out of this typhoon first before I answer, well, the final question of the Q&A. If I don't die, I'll see you there. Alright, welcome to Da Nang. We're about 20 miles outside of it. Our place called the Mi Sun Sanctuary. It's an ancient Hindu temple. Did you know that they used to have Hindus in Vietnam? I did not know that either until about 2 hours ago.
I like him.
You like Donald Trump? 2025. Vietnamese like Donald Trump. China?
What?
Do you like China?
Oh no. China?
China. Chukwa.
I don't know.
You don't, diplomatically correct. You know, crazy thought. Vietnam is developing so quickly. It's got to be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. You look at this grass right here. The last time I came to Vietnam was like 8 years ago. It changed a ton in that time. If I come back in another 8 years, hell, if I come back in like 3 years, that's all going to be developed for sure. So that brings us to our final question. What is the future of Sabbatical? When is the sabbatical gonna end? Good question. I'm not completely sure if I know the answer, but let me try. Southeast Asia. So when I started this channel a little over 4 years ago, like anyone, I did not expect it to go as well as it did. Did not expect this sabbatical to last so long. I thought it was going to be maybe a couple of months, half a year. In all honesty, I thought it'd be something to do until the pandemic ended. And then life kind of went back to normal. And I guess, to be honest with you, I have no idea what I would have done if the channel didn't work out. But here we are. Here we are. And we've been all over the world, starting off mainly in Africa. I do miss Africa. I'm gonna get back there this year, in fact. But then later moving on to other regions of the world, South America, Asia, China, Japan, Southeast Asia, and then even swinging through America and Europe, and sadly Russia at one point. And it's been an amazing adventure. It's been something I will remember for the rest of my life, the trip of a lifetime. But the truth is, you know, you can't stay on the road forever. It gets tiring. I can easily live abroad for very long periods of time. I've done that. I lived in China for 6 years. I spent roughly 2 years in Argentina. But continuous moving from place to place, that does get tiring after a while. So, But you know, the truth is, when you go through an experience like I did last year, where I spent almost 3 weeks in jail, but more importantly, I was convinced that I was about to be a political prisoner for a decade, that kind of thing, oh man, changes your outlook on life. It makes you think about your priorities. Hi, Homon, come in. I know like 10 words of Vietnamese. I know the important ones. But so with that in mind, this year, I made the commitment to myself to, you know, take it a little easier. Spend more time with friends and family. Ironically, after just talking about Russian jail, and I did not know this before coming here, there are a lot of Russians in this town. Da Nang. That's right. Most of them are Russians fleeing the government. And this channel will continue to be, in its essence, a channel where I simply follow my curiosity all around the world, wherever that takes me. Because, you know, I may not be the most talented or best looking dude on the planet, but I can say I am very curious. Might even be top 1% curious. So we will continue to go wherever I find interesting. This year, what I'm thinking is we'll get back to exploring countries you've never heard of, places in the world you didn't know existed. Maybe also do a bit more exploring in my own country. No problem, no problem. You go ahead. Oh, we'll definitely also, I promise, we'll go back to Africa this year. This channel really got its start in Africa, and I have been waiting so long to go back to Tanzania and Kenya. We've been back to Uganda a few times, but never Tanzania, and that is a real shame. And I do think this is as good a time as any to tell you I'm working on some different stuff. I'm writing a book. I didn't want to announce this in a video because it's going to put a lot of pressure on me to actually do it and finish it. But that's what I need right now. I'm writing a book about all the crazy experiences I've had around the world. It's not going to be one of those like how to build a YouTube channel, how to be a digital nomad, how to get rich in 5 seconds. Sorry. No offense to the people that write those books. I want it to be a little bit cooler. So if you want to see some of the early chapters, if you want to see some of the early writing I do, you can actually sign up on Patreon. I'll be releasing it there. Nice little perk for you. So yeah, that's about it. Those were all of your questions, or most of them. The most interesting ones. The adventures will continue to an unknown date. All right. See you somewhere in the world. Hope you enjoyed this tour of 5 different countries. Who else is gonna give you that in a Q&A video? 5 different countries. Sabbatical. Yeah. All right, see you next time.